born into repetition. Wake up, school, home, video games until your mother tells you to sleep. And even then we resist sneaking a few more minutes, waiting for the friend to log off until we're caught again. The cycle doesn't end, it only changes its costume. You enter secondary school thinking, this is the turning point. New people, new beginnings, but the wheel keeps spinning. You're forced to study subjects you didn't choose, to memorize facts you're going to forget, to return home and numb yourselves in familiar ways. Whether it be through games, fleeting attention from girls in your class, or now doom scrolling endlessly, letting your mind rot to the noise and nonsense disguised as entertainment. And so it repeats, until exams approach and panic forces seriousness upon you. You tell yourself, in college I'll mature, in university I'll finally focus. But there you meet your good old friend again, the cycle just waiting patiently. This isn't new. For centuries humanity has lived the same way, only the scenery changes. Some slaved under the pharaohs, some harvested crop beneath the burning sun, some spun wool into garments until their fingers bled. The actions differ, but the rhythm is identical. Work, survive, repeat, and slowly something dangerous grows inside us. We begin to feel lost, empty, depressed, as if our lives have no meaning. Here is the uncomfortable truth. That feeling, it's not accidental. A man who feels meaningless is easy to control. A man chasing comfort is easy to distract. A man running endlessly on a wheel will never ask who built the wheel. So we chase the cheese dangling in front of us.
Come on in here. Woo! A little closer now. Take the carrot. Gotcha.
Money, validation, pleasure. While others harvest the rewards of our exhaustion, we are praised for being obedient, productive, and quote-unquote good. While freedom is reserved for those who escape the cycle altogether. And here's a question. Can we ever escape it? Can we truly stop going in circles until we disappear from this world? Most of us think the answer is novelty. That's why we love traveling. New places, new food, new air, it feels like freedom. But travel is not freedom, it's the evidence of its absence. It's a brief interruption of monotony, not its cure. The problem was never the cycle itself. Human beings have always lived within cycles, yet some lived free. Freedom then must be something else entirely. We admire the audacity of those who transcended routine, a man mapping the stars to navigate land, scholars turning abstraction into mathematics, warriors disciplining their bodies until their will ruled their flesh. These were not men without routine, these were men with purpose. And so I believed freedom meant this: find what you love, devote yourself to it, and let it consume you. Once you find your purpose and pursue it relentlessly, nothing else matters. Loss hurts, but it does not break you. Loneliness stings, but it does not empty you. You endure because your life has direction. I call that freedom. I told myself, I may not have wealth, I may not have luxury, I may not have traveled the world, but I'm doing what I want and that's enough. I was willing to endure any cycle if it led me there. And then, April 2024, Medina. I saw something that unsettled me. Children running freely in the streets, women walking at night without fear, people structuring their entire lives around a book that they believe to be divine revelation. Their days were repetitive, their lives were structured, their routines were strict. It's the same cycles, yet none of them are at despair. That is when it struck me. I was wrong. Before Medina, my worldview was simple. Escape the cycle. After Medina, I realized, sanctify the cycle. I wasn't tired of repetition. I was tired of myself and my desires being the center of everything. In Medina, I watched people wake up before dawn, wash the same way, stand in the same rows, recite the same verses they heard their entire lives. No novelty, no rebellion, no escape, and yet peace. It reminded me of a verse I've heard before, but I never felt. Verily, in the remembrance of God do hearts find rest. Not in freedom, not in self-expression, not in doing whatever you want. Remembrance of your Lord. I understood then purpose alone is not enough. Doing what you love can still be a prison, just one that you decorate with more meaning. What I call freedom was only self-direction. Islam offered me something far more dangerous and far more liberating. Submission, not to people, not to systems, not to comfort, but to something that doesn't change when you do. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, the most beloved deeds of God are those that are consistent even if they are small. Not explosive, not impressive, consistent. That is when the cycle changed. Prayer was no longer repetition, it was alignment. Discipline was no longer restriction, it was protection. Routine was no longer emptiness, it was a polish. I stopped asking, how do I escape this life? And I started asking, who is this life shaping me into? Because when your actions serve something higher than your desires, such as truth, discipline, God, the cycle no longer drains you. It refines you. So yes, the cycle will always exist. You still wake up, work, return home, sleep. The cycle does not disappear, but now it means something. And maybe that's how it's always been. So yes, perhaps we are born into repetition, but not as prisoners of the cycle, but as guests who have something far greater to live for within it. And that is how I attained freedom from our good old friend, the cycle.
Where did you go? Where did you leave me?